Part 5, and the first thing I want to do in this video is do something with this back wall. So initially I was intending on doing it with oak panels, as I have done with the window wall, but I think doing it on the back wall as well would just be overkill. Having both walls the same would just be a bit too much, so instead what I'm going to do is paint this magnolia, obviously tidy up the wire at the top, and do something cool and create a bit of a central feature as well. Let's give it a go. And there we go, it is done. The whole wall magnolia and the logo in white. So for those that don't know, that is the logo of Revealed Recordings, which is Hardwell's record label, my favourite artist of all time. Been following that label for about 11 years now and I still love it, so very pleased to have that on the wall. I was kind of worried for a little while that the magnolia would end up too bright, because it honestly is brighter than I remember it being, and it would kind of not, the logo wouldn't stand out, but I think that's worked out very well indeed. I'm very pleased with that. Next, a few miscellaneous bits. I've removed the wallpaper from the archway over the door, and I quite like how it separates the slat effect wallpaper I have on here with the slats on there. I don't like the colour. I've done it magnolia and I think it's too bright, to be honest. I think if it was darker it'd make a lot more sense. The goal with that archway was to have it like a kind of nothing interesting happens here divider between the two walls, but I think it being so bright it kind of distracts from that. I think it's too much of a feature in and of itself. Not sure which colour I'm going to go with to correct that. I'll have another think about it. I've also done a few more bits in the lobby. So firstly, I've replaced the light that was there hanging down with a nice low profile one. I think that looks nice. I've also done the wooden frame bits in a kind of glossy white paint. I think that looks nicer. I've also done the wood panels. I think that looks really good. What again I don't think looks good is the magnolia I've done. So I did have this white initially, but I thought it looked just way too monotone with kind of everything in the lobby being white. The magnolia I think is just kind of too yellow. Again, I really like the magnolia on this wall. I think that works. I do not think this works in the lobby. I think the answer in here is going to be I'm going to do it with a light grey. And that'll be the third paint I've done in the lobby now. I just can't settle on what I like, and I just have such difficulty visualising what would be good before I do it. But yeah, I don't know. Light grey, I think. Next, we're going to be doing some bits in the kitchen, and I've pretty much neglected this room since I moved out because I don't really cook anything other than chicken and rice, so why bother? But we're going to be replacing the countertops. So with this one, the way they did it previously is with two countertops and the bar in the middle. I presume that's because they didn't have the depth to come all the way out to here, but I'm going to do that with what I've got. Bring it all the way out to here and have it in one piece. And over this side they had two separate countertops, and I've just plonked this IKEA one over the top. You can see they kind of finished. I guess that's because they had the oven in the middle, whereas I've just gone hobs and air fryer, so I don't really need it. But I'm just going to do one piece all the way across, and that will end here. So I will lose a bit of depth, but I'm fine with that. And what I'm going to be using these IKEA Colby. If you hadn't worked it out already, I love wood effect. I think everything should be wood effect, so let's get started, see how it goes. I think that's the first time ever I've used ceiling and not made a massive arse of it, to be honest. It looks really good. I'm really pleased with that. Comes all the way to the edge. Didn't make any massive mistakes in the measurements, so yeah. I mean, this unit is pretty much destroyed. I mean, that's sort of halfway hanging out, but I'm going to replace that anyway. Did have to remove the tiles, but I was going to replace those anyway as well, so yeah, pretty pleased with that. Okay, with that done, we have both sides in and sealed in all the way around. Still hate using sealant, it just goes everywhere. But overall impressions, I'm really pleased with this side, A, because it's in one straight whole unit, and the gain in depth I've found, because I think it only came out to about here before it stopped. That's really noticeable and really useful. The washing machine in particular tucks in much more nicely. Over here, there is a loss in depth, so it came out to, I don't know, something over here somewhere before. The loss in depth is kind of annoying with this side, obviously being the cooking side, not having as much space, but the whole kitchen feels so much more open because of that. The only real downside is I did want to get an induction hob here, so one that would fit into the countertop itself. But pretty much all the countertops I've found come out 52 centimeters, and this desktop is 51, which is very annoying. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there. I mean, the solution I've got at the moment is fine for me and what I do anyway, so not too much of a problem. The next steps in here are to do the tiling again, so I'm going to go with a kind of white stone effect tile, and I'm going to make it come up to there, so level with what I've got on the windowsill, and then all the way around there, just one tile high. I'm going to replace all of those tiles as well, and then do the same on this bit here, so come up to here, in line with that. Then over this side I'm going to tile all the way from the countertop to the extractor fan, obviously remove the bit of glass that's there, and then box that in up the top with cupboard space, because I do need a lot of cupboard space. At the moment I've just sort of got stuff on the countertop and then on the floor where the cupboards would be, if I had any, but I don't. So next thing, tiles and cupboards, and that's that. Next I've got more of the electric sorted out. So it used to be that I had the towel rail in the bathroom on the other side of that wall coming through the wall and plugging into the socket there. But I've since had an electrician round and sorted out a fuse spur for that. I've also finally got a panel heater that's plugged in on the socket. One in the living room and one in the bedroom over there. Last year I had no heating whatsoever throughout winter other than tiny little electric heater underneath my desk, but yeah, the goal is to make this flat more homely and more hospitable to guests, I guess. So having a non-freezing flat is a good part of that, so happy with that. The next part finally is to paint the bedroom. I've had this terrible blue colour, which I don't like at all, for over a year now, because I've been pondering what colour I actually want to do. I'm going to go with the colour I've got there behind the radiator. I painted just a little bit so I didn't have to completely unscrew the radiator. So yeah, it's kind of a beigey sort of colour. I'm hoping it will just look more modern, because this blue at the moment to me looks quite, I don't know, just childish I guess. So let's get it all up, see how it looks. Job done, and I think it looks okay. I mean, generally speaking, I'm not a massive fan of just like monotone colours, but the actual name of this colour is taupe, so it kind of is that modern beigey kind of colour. I mean, it's fine, it gives the room a more complete look now that I've coloured over some of the holes I had in the wall. But generally speaking, I much prefer that kind of vibe over there where it's got the custom wallpaper and the patterns are kind of much more involved. So I'm still tempted to do a big wallpaper job on this window wall. As for what that might be, I have no idea yet, but yeah, it's one job out the way and it looks okay. Next, simple job, I'm going to fill that hole in the ceiling where the extractor fan vent used to be. Job done, and that's gone quite well I think. So that was going up into the loft, screwing up a bit of wood down into the ceiling below it, cutting out a little circle of plasterboard, screwing that up into the wood, and then putting sort of plaster stuff over the top. I've elected not to paint over it just to finish it, just because I would probably have to paint the rest of the ceiling if I was to do that, and I can't be bothered, so I'll leave it at that. Next, you're going to have to pretend I haven't lost all the footage for this bit. Next, I'm going to do the kitchen cabinets. And wow, there they are. So I've got 3 units in total. I've got the drawer and the door unit here, got the bins in there, triple drawer unit there, and this unit on the side. I couldn't find an official, like proper corner unit, and I did have to cut this down on the edge here because the door was slightly too far in. That one is no longer a door. It no longer needs to be anyway, but I've literally just taken it off and glued it to the sliders that are in there. But yeah, it's all looking as good as it can do, I think. So these are the IKEA Voxtorp finish, and they're pretty much matching the countertop on top. And I've got that on the other side as well, same unit. Bit of advice, if you are going to do what I've done and do the countertop and the cabinets or cupboards together, I would do the cabinets first, just because when I went to put these in, there was definite bowing in the countertop. It was way down in the middle, further than it was on each side. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with that, I reckon. Looks very modern, very sleek, very nice. Yeah, I'm quite pleased. And just to get a little shot of the kitchen as a whole, there we are. It's come a hell of a long way. I did have a mate over a few months ago, and she did say I had the most ill-equipped kitchen she had ever seen. But I've got the base cupboards there. There's still a bit more to do. Still want to do the tiling, and I still want to get cabinets up the top and box in the extractor. But yeah, it's come a long way. I think that's about it for this episode, and we are nearly done with everything, I think. I've lived here for nearly 15 months now, and there's not that much left to do. Still want to do all the kitchen tiles, so up from here to the extractor, box that in with cabinets up the top, replace that unit over there, and then do the tiles for the rest of the kitchen as well. Still got to do the bathroom tiles, and then other than that, it's just putting down some floorboards in the loft, and I think that's it. So we're nearly done. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.